Hello and Happy New Year to you. In this new year, 2019, I wish you all the best prosperity, abundance, grace, love, power for this new year. And as it's New Year, I have to make a video because everyone else is doing it. But mine's a bit different. So I've got some notes here that I'm just going to follow along because I had some ideas when I was thinking about, what can I say about the new year? So what I want to talk about for this new year video is I don't think you should make New Year's resolutions. In fact, I think you should completely forget about New Year's resolutions. What happens with the New Year's resolution? You make your idea, your statement or whatever, and then you just sort of by willpower, you try to do it. But then other things come up in your life and you never really get down to it. So there's a better way of doing this. The thing is, you are connected to the earth, to the power of the earth. There's a natural power and energy everywhere that's part of the earth, part of the cycle of the earth and the cycle of the moon and the sun, because we receive energy from our environment. Energy from the earth, energy from the sun, energy from the moon. And most of the time, well, let's say most people, most average people, we're not aware of that. And so we do these New Year's resolutions and we try to stick to them, but we forget that we can use this energy, this natural energy that's in our environment, and we can channel that energy and it can help us to manifest the things that we're trying to create in our life. Yeah, so this is basically law of attraction. And so the way I do that for me personally is I like to create rituals and ceremonies, and I like to use the power of ritual and ceremony. And I spent many years living in the monastery, in the Hindu monastery, and so I learnt about all of these ceremonies in the Hindu tradition. They're called pujas, and they're very powerful. And in fact, it's not just in the Hindu tradition that you can find these powerful rituals. In all spiritual traditions, there are different kinds of rituals and ceremonies. And people have been doing these ceremonies for thousands of years, literally thousands of years. And why do people do that? Why have they been doing this for the whole history of humankind? Because they work, because they're powerful. They're absolutely powerful. And these types of rituals are a really powerful way to connect with the law of attraction, which is that natural law, that universal law of using the energy of the environment, of the earth, the moon and the sun and the stars, and channeling it to manifest and create things in your life. So there are certain ingredients for this to happen, and these are the ingredients of law of attraction, basically. And you can sort of take these ingredients and bundle them into whatever ritual or method that you want. It doesn't have to be something religious as such, if you're not religious. It can just be some kind of sort of meditation practice, or you can just improvise and create your own little ceremonies and rituals. So in this video, I just wanted to tell you these ingredients as I've studied them and discovered them myself in my own practice. So if you want to create something new in your life, if you want to manifest something, if you want to change something, do away with New Year's resolutions, writing your New Year's resolution on a piece of paper and sticking it on the fridge. Throw that away. That's not going to do anything. Instead, go to the power of law of attraction, of ritual, of ceremony, the power of the earth. So these are the ingredients, okay? So step number 1 is to get clear about your intention. Now, whatever it is you want to manifest, whatever you want to change, get really clear about very exactly what it is, specifically what it is you want. And you also need to get clear about how important it is in your life. So you really need to make this one of your top priorities if it's something that you want. Because if you don't make it a priority, you'll never really get the energy into it. Step number 2 is to feel for any blocks, any roadblocks. Could be emotional blocks. It could be something about your beliefs that are stopping you from believing that you deserve this or believing that it can really happen in your life. It could be financial blocks. It could be practical blocks about like where you're living geographically. I mean, it could be anything really. So feel for whatever blocks, roadblocks you may have. And one way to do that is to close your eyes and ask yourself, am I ready for this? Am I really ready for this to happen right now in my life? And just see what feelings come up and just listen to your body. You might get little feelings coming up, well, I haven't got enough money to do that. Or, from my experience in the past, I've never been able to do that. So just feel for these blocks. So step number 3 is to take the time and the patience to reflect on any of these blocks, any of these roadblocks. And you need time, it could take days, weeks to really meditate on this, reflect on it. And maybe you need to do something to get over them. Maybe you need to go and have coaching or go and see a counselor or speak to a professional, or I don't know, but maybe you need to do something to work through and overcome any of those roadblocks, whether they're beliefs or financial blocks or anything, okay? So that's step number 3. Take the time and give yourself patience. Allow days or weeks for this to happen. You might need to use a separate ceremony or a separate session of a ritual, a law of attraction session to heal and clear those blocks. I've had to do this sometimes. You dedicate a specific ritual and ceremony for healing and removing those blocks. And then you can come back later when you feel that you've overcome those blocks and you're ready to attract or manifest this thing, and you can come back and do the next ceremony or ritual to really launch your intention into the universe. So the next thing is to create a practical action plan and break it down into steps. This is so important. You can't just, law of attraction doesn't just work by wishing or visualizing and then praying and, sending it out there and then doing nothing. You can't just do nothing and expect it to happen. You've actually literally got to do something different in your life. There's that quote, what is it? If you want something different, what is it? If you want something you've never had before, you're going to have to do something you've never done before. Okay, so create your action plan and break it into steps, week by week or month by month, and then you'll move slowly towards manifesting that thing. Okay, the next thing after that is to visualize, and this is so important, the power of visualization. So maybe you need to close your eyes and just imagine whatever it is. If it's more money, imagine that you've got that money and be specific, not just money, but how much money. Exactly, be specific, how much money. And if it's a relationship, be specific. What do they look like? How does it feel being with them? What are you doing together? And really visualize that. Feel the emotions that come with that. And that's going to create the energy and the power. And imagine it in the present moment. Imagine that you have it right now. Let's visualize it, feel, and use all your senses, like smell it, touch it. If it's a relationship, can you feel your lips as you're kissing them? If it's money, I don't know, you could imagine yourself counting it, like Ebenezer Scrooge. I don't know, but with money you can visualize like a bank account or something like that. So, sorry about that, dogs are barking. So, so the next step, which is connected with that, is to stir up strong emotions. So really stir up these strong emotions of having that thing or having that relationship. And you've got to, this is where you're going to generate the power and really cry out, I'm ready for this. I am so ready for this. And feel the joy of having that. And this is the energy, the power that the universe, that the divine is going to pay attention to. She's going to sit up and listen to you and say, yes, he's serious. He's sending me a strong message and I'm going to work with him. So really generate that emotion. And then the next step is to follow through on this. So all those previous steps, those are all kind of bundled together into one ceremony or one ritual that you can do, you know, one evening. And then this next step is to frequently, regularly reminding yourself of the emotion, of doing the action steps, of visualizing it. And your thoughts and your speech and your behavior must be aligned to your belief about receiving this thing. So, you know, regularly, you might want to have a routine every morning to sort of sit down and meditate and imagine these things. Or maybe just once a week, just check in with yourself, with your goals, that you're doing this and that you're focusing on it. So really follow through on your action and keep your thoughts, speech, behavior aligned with your belief about receiving this. And the order of those steps, they might vary a little bit, but those are basically the ingredients. And set aside a day or an evening or an hour or something. Create a nice ritual for yourself. You know, use candles and incense and music. Music is fantastic, really. Choose some of your favorite sort of spiritual or meditation music and really go into this, you know, create these steps, create that emotion, generate that feeling, and cry out that you're ready for this and you're going to get it, and imagine yourself already with it and the joy and the fantastic feeling that you've got this. So that is the power of working with the energy of the earth and the sun and the moon. And you can even align this with the cycles of the moon, the new moon, the full moon. And that's what I'm doing this full moon. I'm starting for me the full moon, the new moon. That's what I meant to say. The new moon for me is like the first step, is kind of preparing, like getting my ideas clear and just assembling the ideas and generating the emotion in that moment. And then during the next couple of weeks, as it builds up to the full moon, that's where I tweak my ideas and I try to figure out what I'm going to do for the action plan, what I'm going to do to put these things into practice. And then on the full moon, I'm going to have a really specific, concrete idea to present to the universe, to the Divine Mother, and generate that emotion and cry out to Divine Mother, this is what I need, this is what I want. Please, Mother, work with me. Let's collaborate together and create this, let this happen. And then you send it out into the universe. So that, for me, is what we should be doing instead of New Year's resolutions. So if you want to make a New Year's resolution, don't. Instead, do it like this. Generate these ingredients, like law of attraction, working with the divine, working with the energy of the environment, of yourself, the earth, the moon, the sun, and collaborate with the divine. Let the universe work together with you to create exactly what is needed for you to evolve, to grow in your life. And that's basically what I wanted to say today. In another video, I might go into a bit more detail about the specific ritual that I do in the Hindu tradition. I don't know if that would be interesting for you, or if that's a bit too woo-woo. I don't know. Let me know if you want me to be a bit more specific and tell you about some of my practices. I'd be happy to talk about them. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. As usual, it's too long, so I'm going to have to edit it. But so anyway, good luck with your New Year's resolutions. Instead, project and cry out your passions and work with the universe, collaborate with the universe. And I wish you all the abundance and prosperity and love and power and grace for this new year. A ritual or a ceremony. Oi! Stop barking! Will you stop barking? Come up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There, that's it. The dogs are going to come up here now. Hello. Hello. Who's a good boy, Dad? Who's a good boy, aren't you? We're going to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, you go down.